Good morning. This is a follow-up video to the last video I did on the AEA Zeus 72, where I was firing the 835 grain projectiles at the servers. I had a few questions from people asking, well, what is a server and why am I not firing at something more common? And the simple answer is a server is incredibly thick steel-walled computer. It's large, it's heavy, and basically if you can punch a hole through that, you can punch a hole through just about anything. But what I thought I would do is pull the screws out of the servers, and I'm going to pull the panels off just so you can see what they did. This isn't a lightweight sheet metal. This is real thick steel, and in most of the cases they even hit components inside. But to start, the main reason I do that is the rounds I'm using are very large. This is the small 72 caliber I'm selling, which is the 725 grain projectile. Well, you've got this one, which is the steel core 457. And on the steel core 457, once again, I want to have a pretty good target to shoot that at to make sure that steel ball is going in there and making some difference. And on one of the servers it did, which I'll show you here in a bit. Even rounds like this, which is a shotgun round, it breaks up leaving the barrel with 400 grains a shot. But if it's up close, it can still punch a hole. So just FYI, and I'm always trying new things too, like I've just come out with the 50 cal shot round, and it's a lot of fun. As well as this is something I made just last night. This is a Sabo holding a 45 caliber projectile with a steel core, so pretty effective stuff. So with that said, let's pull this over here, take a look at a server. Now on this server, you can see that it punched some pretty good holes through the case itself. Several of these were through and throughs, but there's two different cases where we have a pretty good indention. It did not come through the server. So those bullets are in here somewhere. So once again, if you look at the case itself, here's where it came in, right there, there. There's one of them right there actually caught up in the metal. Let me see if I can dig that thing out. Take a little bit of work here. There we go. Yeah, that got caught up in some wire and steel and actually stopped it. And that's kind of funny. In the end of that bullet, there's actually a screw embedded in it. So it tore through the one side, got through some cabling and hit a steel bracket. Still dented the backside pretty good, but that was enough to stop it. So that is one server down. So again, as you can see, just typical computer is just a really, really large computer. Number two. Let's see here. Get this thing apart real quick. That may be easier said than done. Just a moment, just to, talk amongst yourselves. Well, folks, the hole that this one made going in, it looks like it got caught up on internal components. So I'm going to give this about 10 more seconds and see if I can pry this back far enough to get into it. And if not, I may have to pass on this one. Just cutting that steel and prying it up, seeing if that's enough. And it doesn't look like it is, but for what it's worth, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this up close enough for you to see. This one right here was an entrance hole. It went in there and did some pretty good damage. This other one was an entrance hole too, and in just the right light, you can see the bullet still down in there. That one did not go through. So on this server, we had one really good dent on the back side, and here where it just pretty much punched through, actually did punch through, and then another one, whoa, up here at the side that came, punched through, and actually hit a second server. Number three. Number three is of interest to me because not only did it punch through with a 72 cal, this dent right here on the back side see if I can find it here. There we go. Is the 50 cal steel core. So it went clear through and created quite an indentation there. Wanted to take a peek at that bullet and see what was left of that. Because somewhere in here we should have a bullet that looks something like that. Of course, this may be a lot more interesting to me than it is to you, but it's stuck in there. Apparently, it's doing a fine job of playing hide and seek, because I'm not seeing it. Ah, there we go, there we go. Well, one of them at least was rattling around inside. That was the big one that hit it. That was the 835 grain. But that 50 caliber steel core I cannot find. But anyway, that's what a server is. That's why I was shooting the server, so that I had a really hard target to hit. But on to the fun stuff. Let me get this wheeled over here. The shop is crazy. A lot of stuff in the way. And as the title said, there is my Acer little mini laptop that will not do what I want it to do. Right now you see that little screen up to the right, which is the day and time. It pops up whenever it wants to pop up. I can't seem to turn it off. Mouse pad isn't working great. So I don't feel at all bad about pressing any key, which is the message it asks me to push anytime. It says press any key. So without any further ado, I'm going to press any key, but I'm going to do it with a Zeus 72 with 835 grain shell. Well, I don't think pressing any key made it any better. It's certainly not working anymore. But they sure did punch a pretty hole through that sucker. Woo! Took out the hard drive and all sorts of other little things. Quite a little crater it left. So then we've got a Dell server, which is about the only thing these things are good for. After the first buyer, you really don't have a secondary market. Left a huge gaping hole and left a big old dent in the backside. So went through that laptop, went through one layer of thick sheet steel and hit that second layer plus whatever components on the inside it hit. So weekly, I will try to find some fun thing to shoot and some new interesting round to shoot it with. And I hope you keep coming back to see what I shoot next. Have a great day. Bye-bye.